All right, we're gonna go
All right.
95. 95. I'll set the
95.
scene for you.
Yep.
Notable movies: Seven, Casino, Toy Story. The highest grossing film of the year is Batman Forever, as we're getting back into the franchise films. And then we also have the reboot of popular franchises with Pierce Brosnan's James Bond in GoldenEye. Plus, you have
Mm.
pseudo cult classics like Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Ghost in the Shell is a huge anime film of that time. Mortal Kombat for our video game audience, and Clueless all are released in 1995.
You got any technical award changes?
I'm going to original song, at least a nomination, and I think it should be a win. How is Kiss from a Rose from Batman Forever not an original song nominee? That's fucking ridiculous to me. Kiss from a Rose is a great fucking song, dude.
I would completely agree. I love that.
What is the win for best song or original song?
I'm pretty sure it's Colors of the Wind, but let me make 100% sure.
I believe it is also Colors of the Wind, if I recall correctly. Colors of the Wind is a great tune.
It
It's
is Colors of the Wind.
it's the ballad, but I think one of the things is original song is a way that the Academy gets to play in Popularville and still get to have the hoity-toityness.
Yes.
Kiss from a Rose is a legit like huge radio hit too, and anyone who
Yeah.
hears that song, even though it's cheesy as fuck, loves it. And that's why I'm like, you gotta go with Kiss from a Rose. And the fact that it didn't even get nominated, I'm like, come on, come on,
Yeah. That sounds great.
great.
Um, any other ones? Is
That
that
is,
the only one?
that is my only one for that.
Okay. I only had one as well. This is actually a time when they were doing drama score and musical or comedy scores.
I did see that.
For
Yes.
some reason, they did that during the 40s and 50s. They were doing black and white versus color. They tried different ideas all the time. Some of them stick, some of them don't.
Yeah.
But I would have went with the Braveheart score, drama score, over Il Postino, which
Okay.
is also nominated for Best Picture. I just watched Il Postino for the first time. It's one of the few that I hadn't seen that had come up after 1980. It was a good movie. The Braveheart score is like iconic to me.
Gift of the Thistle is so good. It
It's a beautiful score.
James Horner's music in that movie is so fucking incredible. I've seen
Yeah. I would
Braveheart
actually.
once. I've watched
Oh,
Braveheart
really?
once. And that music is indelibly marked in my brain, and it is on. I have a playlist of original score. I have of score music to just kind of write to put me in that place. Like when I write Batman, I put on Batman music, but when I'm trying to spread it out and just when I write, listen to scores. Gift of the Thistle and a lot of Braveheart music is always on that playlist because it's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't love Braveheart as a movie, but I think the best part about it is probably the score. So, or
That
cinematography.
cinematography, art direction, and score. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so getting into the other five, we got Mel Gibson winning for director for Braveheart.
Yep.
Actor was Nicolas Cage for Leaving Las Vegas.
Okay.
Actress Susan Sarandon, Dead Man Walking. Supporting actor Kevin Spacey, great guy I hear, for Usual Suspects. And then you got supporting actress Mira Sorvino for Mighty Aphrodite.
I'm gonna go to supporting actor for one. Right actor, wrong movie. I would have went Spacey for seven.
I get that. I I was tempted to say that, but then when I thought about it, I was like, is he in enough of the movie for me to really like?
We've had supporting actors win for 12 minutes of screen time.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I think one of the fewest was I just rewatched Network, which came out in 1976, and the best supporting actress in that, I think she was in like 3% of the movie. Like she's barely in it. It's like two scenes. So I get it. I was tempted to say that as well. Is
He
that the only
is
change you had?
he is incredible in Seven.
I will agree with that. Sure.
He is now just starting to dip his toe back into mainstream life again after his scandals. Not a comment on the person, because the stories of the person seem pretty reprehensible.
Oh yeah.
But the actor, Kevin Spacey, is incredible an actor. It's the
Yeah.
art. How do you separate art versus artist conversation, as we always have to get into in these conversations? Spacey in this era is fucking incredible. In Seven, he is so good, so good.
hmm I would agree. Is that the only change you had though
That is
with those five?
the only five I have, and then I have a Best Picture nominee. That's it.
Okay. I actually have zero changes
Okay,
for
wow.
those five categories. I did have a couple shout outs I wanted to say. I would have loved to see David Fincher get a nomination for Seven.
Yep.
Tom Hanks for Apollo 13, Best Actor. Also Denzel Washington in
Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide. He's fantastic in that movie. And then speaking of Gary Sinise again, Gary Sinise in Apollo 13 for supporting actor. And then also Gene Hackman in Crimson Tide for supporting actor. And then Gwyneth Paltrow in Seven as well, supporting actress. I think
Yeah.
they deserve shout outs.
Yeah, they're all those fringe that you're. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of feels like perhaps Tom Hanks wasn't nominated because he won two in a row, and they're like, we gotta get someone out of this category. Because
Yeah,
if
I
he's
don't.
put in, he's probably gonna win. That's it. Kind of feels like that.
Yeah, I don't think he had a shot in hell at winning for Apollo 13. He just really doesn't do all that much in that movie.
Right.
I mean, he's great, obviously. He's Tom Hanks,
Right.
but
It's Tom Hanks.
like
Yes.
when you compare it to Philadelphia and Forrest Gump.
Very different. However, his greatest acting experience
Okay,
is in The Burbs, so we can all agree on that. So.
sure, yeah. Okay, so Best Picture actual nominees were Braveheart, Apollo 13, Il Postino, Babe, surprise nominee, and Sense and Sensibility with Braveheart as the winner.
I don't know who I would take out to make this nomination work. I think Toy Story deserves a nomination for Best Picture.
That's one of my changes.
All right. It got the special award that year because they just didn't have. They knew they had to recognize this film, and they didn't know how to do it.
I'm actually very surprised that Toy Story wasn't the jumping off point for an animated feature category itself.
Yeah.
Toy Story is such a good movie that it's kind of like a really glaring miss on the Academy's part
Yeah.
that it wasn't nominated for anything.
I mean, they knew they had to give it something, so they gave it that bullshit special award.
Yeah.
I think the only thing against your point is it certainly deserves. It's the thing that should start the animation category. Where at the time,
Yeah.
even with Beauty and the Beast, you can kind of go, it's an outlier. I think it's just the amount of animated films of that quality, or even a similar big budget quality, weren't being made because it was taking so much
Sure.
time to create them, because we were still in hand drawn animation times, and then we got into hand drawn computer assisted animated times, and then we were getting completely computer generated things with Toy Story then, in which I just don't know that there was enough to make it a category.
I
Because
mean,
then,
95 had Toy Story, Pocahontas, and Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure.
I think Notre Dame was 96.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe there wasn't enough.
And I'm looking, I'm just like, I can't remember a DreamWorks movie or something of that nature.
I don't. DreamWorks didn't exist yet.
Exactly. Like, I just don't think there was enough to create a category for it. But even still, if there's no category, the fact that Toy Story is not nominated for Best Picture is a huge glaring miss. It is a phenomenal film.
So jump off that. Toy Story is my winner for Best Picture. And
Okay, you're going over Braveheart. Wow, that is
yes,
that's a take. I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm just saying that's a take.
I've seen Braveheart probably 4 or 5 times now. I think it's diminishing returns. Not on every aspect of the movie, because it's always beautiful. It looks great. But, I mean, Mel Gibson's accent in there really drives me crazy. I don't know why.
Freedom!
I don't know why he had to direct himself as the star.
It's Mel Gibson. Mel
Same thing.
Gibson's one of the biggest actors of that
Yeah,
time. He was.
yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Um, so yeah, Toy Story would have been mine. I think it's the most revolutionary movies in the past 30 years. And then, so I would have taken out Il Postino and Babe, and I would have put in Toy Story and Seven. Because Seven is, there is not a movie like that in that, like, era.
Before or after, there's nothing like
Yeah,
Seven. Everyone's trying
there
to
is
be
nothing,
Seven with a serial killer movie.
yeah, because there is nothing that, like, grungy and dirty. David Fincher, his style in that movie is unlike any other kind of crime thriller that had been made.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy Seven. I very much contemplated Best Picture putting Seven in there, and I completely agree that it deserves it. I just didn't know enough about the other movies to pull
Sure.
El Postino or Sense and Sensibility out to do it. But I knew for a fact Toy Story was a huge glaring mark because I think it can be argued Toy Story is a better movie than Braveheart. And if the Best Picture
Yeah.
winner is theoretically not as good as Toy Story, that's a problem. Where I can look at Seven and Braveheart and go, I can understand easily why someone believes Braveheart is a bigger achievement
Yeah.
than Seven.
Yeah, and there's always the thing of, like, what's going to appeal to more people?
Yeah,
Probably not Seven.
probably not Seven. But now, and
Yeah.
oddly, in today's taste,
Yeah,
Seven's
probably Seven.
Seven's the sensibility pick, and Braveheart's the pick that you have to get the film junkie to watch because it's a long
Probably.
movie. It's a character based story. It's an epic
Yeah.
drama. It's not like Seven where you're just constantly in suspense. And Fincher
Yeah.
speaks. Fincher is kind of a Spielberg of his time, in which people go, "Oh shit, this is a David Fincher movie. I got to watch."
Yeah, and Braveheart also marks a 3 year streak where they had just giant epics winning it, where they had Braveheart, English Patient, and then Titanic.
Yeah.
So they were definitely simpatico on every single.
Yeah. Now let's go. What is your favorite movie of 1995?
I'd say Toy Story.
Okay. Toy Story is a great pick.
You told me yours.
I'm gonna give you actually. So I rethought that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the walking contradiction again, but it still speaks to the person of Evan Davies really well. Still, from a love of being a kid, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has to be in that conversation. I fucking love that movie, and I'm not kidding when I tell you because it made such a mark in my fear-addled child brain. Ivan Ooze still scares me, and when I turn a corner in a dark basement or house, I still think Ivan Ooze might come out and jump out and get me. Is that a really deep...
He's iconic.
Ivan Ooze is fucking great. However, there is another movie that is not only a comfort movie for me, but really speaks to my sensibility. GoldenEye is actually probably my favorite film from that.
Sure.
GoldenEye is so good. It is so good on so many levels. I adore GoldenEye. It's tremendous.
You like Bond a lot more than I do.
I love James Bond and Pierce Brosnan starting that era of Bond and GoldenEye. Fucking incredible. The base jump scene alone gets you, and I'm like, nice.
No, it's not probably. It is Pierce's best Bond movie.
Oh, by far. It's GoldenEye and then Diminishing Returns. And I love all those movies, but they're diminishing returns.
Yeah.
They just keep going down in quality as his time goes by.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I adore GoldenEye, and I think GoldenEye has to probably get the nod, although Kid Me is really going, hey man, you still really love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. And you're right, I fucking do. So, walking contradiction hits again.
There's just because you mention it, you should look up on YouTube. There's a channel called Corridor Crew
Okay.
that break down visual effects. They have one episode where they talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You should look it up.
Fuck yeah.
It's pretty interesting actually.
Great movie. Cinematic masterpiece at its
Oh,
finest.
sure.
Oh my god. You know who really should have won best actor? Fucking Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver. Obvious. Great acting.
Can you imagine if they're announcing the nominees and then all of a sudden they announce his name? Like just
Mel Gibson for Braveheart. Like,
the amount of pandemonium it would have caused.
I'm here for the chaos. That's what I'm always here for. I would have loved every second of that if that were actually true. And BT Dub, rest in peace, Jason David Frank. Definitely don't love you and your character forever. It's my boy.